You wanna film the truck? Really?
What's that?
If you have decided to buy an used vehicle to be as your primarily vehicle, sit down and I will tell you my story with this truck. Back in 2022, I used to have a Lincoln Navigator with the payments on it and all those goodies that most of the people have, but I wasn't using it like I supposed to be using, because I was carrying a lot of my equipment in the trunk, and I felt really sorry for the guy because, you know, like you're carrying a lot of equipment in a luxury SUV and it's not the way it should be in the real world. So, and I was really to get rid of the payments, because those payments, they were kind of pushing me and pushing every month, and I was sick and tired of it. And when it was 2022, the car prices was high, and I was able to sell this car with a profit after I put 120k miles on this truck. So I sell that, but at the same time, you know, like when you sell when it's high and buy when it's low, when you sell, you can't buy anything. And I was really in trouble finding this truck, because back then I was looking for the Ford, roughly the same age, but the mileage was like 400 plus. They were around 12-13 grand back then, and it was kind of like, wow, I was kind of like really in trouble finding that truck. But I was looking and looking and looking, and this truck's been sitting on the market for like months, and I decided to give it a shot. I just reached out to the owner, offered him a showing date and time, so we agreed, and I made an offer for him, and that's how I got it. Was it perfect? But it was dry. Why I bought this truck? Because it was simply dry. When I open up the hood, the 7.3, they all tend to sweat around, to leak oil and stuff like that, but this one was completely dry. I have bought this truck after my V10 have failed, and you may have seen it already in the previous video. So that being said, I wasn't struggled to find something, because it was after pandemic time and the pricing was elevated. So I came across this truck on the Facebook marketplace. Yes, it carries the salvage title. Yes, it does need a lot of work, but the guy asked 5 grand for that. I came over, we negotiated a bit, and I ended up buying it for 3,300. So, and if you are thinking whether you should buy such a vehicle or not, I'll explain you my story in this episode, and so it will probably help somebody of you not to make this financial disaster or financial achievement. It's whether or not, it's up to you. But first thing first, I'm gonna tell you that if you don't like wrenching, fixing cars yourself, and you're gonna pay mechanics to do that, I will not advise you to buy the 25-year-old truck, that's for sure. Because in this video I'm gonna break it down, what happened with my truck, what's my experience, and what I think about that. First thing first, when I first get it, this truck had almost no brakes on it. Brakes on the 7.3 work through the pump that is driven by the belt, and this pump was barely pumping, so the brake pedal was weak and it was kind of making a lot of noise. And so that being said, the first repair was the pump. It's around like 150 bucks, plus I ended up buying the pulley for that and the belt. Pulley was 50 something and the belt was 35, I believe. So I replaced it myself, but still I have to order the special tool for that from the Amazon in order to get the pulley off, because you will not be able to do that if you don't have. So that being said, the next step was oil change. On a diesel engine, it's a 7.3, it's much more expensive rather than on the gasoline one, because more oil, more filters, I mean everything is more expensive. So if you're thinking like, heck, I'm gonna buy a diesel and it'll be better for me, but I can tell you in some points it is not, especially now when the diesel is kind of like $5 per gallon. it can lead to some bad things in your budget. So, but okay, change the oil, everything's fine, truck is running. The next step, the brakes. I ended up buying the brake calipers off the Facebook marketplace, the brand new one. Guys was selling them. I know they're Chinese one, but who cares? It's a work truck, right? So I bought them, 65 bucks, replaced them myself. The rear calipers, one was completely shot, replaced it with a brand new one from part store, $92 with taxes and everything. So all the job was done by myself. Next thing that happened with my truck, when the temperatures outside started dropping, it started to leak because the 7.3 are known to leak. If the 7.3 is not leaking, there's probably no oil in it. So that being said, I needed to replace the EGR cooler. Easy job. I spent 2 hours doing that job, but still you have to drain all the liquids out of the engine, coolant and the oil. So that being said, I've done that myself. The gaskets were roughly around 25 bucks. The cooler itself was in a really good shape, so I didn't have to mess with it whatsoever. So the next truck was running fine after the brake and stuff that I've done with this truck. Also, not actually fine. In the first drive to the work that I did on this truck, it immediately chewed up the belt, the drive belt that connects all the, water pump, alternator, and all this kind of stuff. So I bought another one, so I have a spare one. So I put the spare one on, drive back home. It was fine, but it was just making a loud noise. It was kind of like squeaking a lot, but saying that, it's okay. Next day I drove to work and the same thing happened, but luckily I was smart enough to buy another spare belt. So I had to replace the tensioner. The tensioner was $90-something, so easy job, replaced it. That's it. After that, the truck was running amazing until it don't, because it's Ford, and it's just started to give me a lot of troubles in terms of it was misfiring. Sometimes it was rough start, sometimes it wasn't rough start. I mean, it was behaving terribly bad. So I've decided to just park it and order a bunch of things for that truck, because those 7.3, the first things first is ICP, IPR sensor, crankshaft position sensor. What else could it be? And the wiring for the head gaskets. That's the main things that those trucks are known for. So I ordered all of them, but I wasn't kind of like in the mood to throw a bunch of parts on this truck, because all those parts, they're not cheap. So that being said, camshaft position sensor, replaced it. Ran better, not ideal. Was running fine to work and back, commuting fine. Couple days in the morning, no start, like at all. Like you cranking it, nothing happens. So okay, that being said, I replaced RPR. Did start, but it wasn't running. So the next step, replaced the wiring under the head gaskets and the spark plugs as well. It did help a lot, but still the oil pressure, whenever I was trying to test it with the computer, with the scanner that I have, it wasn't ideal. And I've decided to replace the high pressure oil sensor, this HPOP, or how do you call it, the most expensive one. It's almost like 400 bucks just for one sensor. So consider that before buying the 7.3. So okay, I replaced it, and the truck ran flawlessly without any issues. I enjoyed it. I was driving it until I put some pressure on it, and I was to put the skid steer on my trailer to draw it to my yard to kind of spread the soil that I'm bringing there. And under the load, the truck was constantly dying. Like, put the load and that's it. It's not going anywhere. It's just shutting off without any signals. So I dropped the trailer, bring it back to yard. By the way, if you are decided to buy a used truck like that, make sure you first have body that can tow you anywhere. The second thing is AAA, because you will have to tow this truck, trust me. It's just my personal experience, and you will not be an exception. So the next thing, so I towed it back to the yard, where I found that my fuel lines was completely clogged inside the tank. There is a white thing where it's kind of like a small filters inside in the Ford trucks, and those filters, they turn to be kind of like clogged up, and the suction pipe fell off. So I replaced it, and since then the truck runs amazing. Really no issues so far. I've been driving it since then for like 5,000, no, like 7,000 miles already, and no issues at all. So keep in mind that whenever you buy the used truck, you will have to buy batteries for that, and it's a diesel, and everything for diesel is more expensive because bigger batteries and everything that you touch is cost money here. So 2 batteries was roughly around $300 because I bought them at Costco. Filter was 60 something. I ordered the riff-raff one because I was ordering the whole wiring for the truck. The wiring for the engine, wiring for the gaskets, and all that kind of stuff. And if you decided to go with the Corgi, keep in mind that she will not allow you to film any video because she will be barking all the time, non-stop. Right? Baby, say hello. Say wow. Say woof, 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 woof. Oi, oi, oi. Good job. Good job.